By my watch. I would like to start this meeting with a short moment of quiet reflection. Thank you very much. Good morning, everybody. My name is Christopher Fry. I'm the chairperson of the Ad Hoc Committee on the Energy Crisis in the Western Cape Provincial Parliament. I'd like to welcome all members to this meeting, as well as officials from the Department of the Office of the Minister of Electricity. Members, I would just like to point out at the beginning of this meeting that last night, late last night, the Minister Namagopa, had tendered an apology to this meeting, saying that he had an urgent, he had to tend to another urgent matter this morning. So the minister will not be in the meeting today, even though we made sure that we made this meeting to accommodate his schedule. Excuse me for a second. Sorry about that. So members, the minister will not be in this meeting today. He has sent a delegation. Sorry, Ms. Payton, if you could mute your mic, please. Thank you. I see the hands of Member Murray and Member Bosman. Member Murray.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning, everyone. I just want to take a minute to just say that, Chair, I know that you and the procedural officer have gone through painstaking detail or painstaking to try and get the minister here. I think that it's quite unfair that we have rescheduled our time and our availability to suit his, and then he drops us at the drop of a hat. Chair, I think in the spirit of cooperative governance, we should invite him again, but I don't think it's acceptable for him to cancel on us on a last minute when we've rearranged our diaries according to him. I understand he's a minister, but having said that, Chair, we also have a lot of commitments that we have in our own diaries that we have to fulfill in the parliamentary calendar. We have bills, and so I would just like to put that on record. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Member Murray. Member Bosman.
Thank you, Chairperson, and good morning to all the colleagues. Chair, I'm disappointed, but I'm not surprised, because this is the fourth time that this specific minister has snubbed this committee. And as someone who had to give up the community safety scheduled meeting for this morning, I'm very disappointed, and I'd like to propose that we don't continue with this meeting, because we have engaged with Eskom, and this meeting was specifically to engage with the minister. I also think that it is disrespectful to this committee and to the Western Cape Provincial Parliament that we received a presentation for this meeting quite late last night. I think if the department in the presidency was serious about its obligations around accountability, they would not be sending a long PowerPoint presentation the night before, and the minister would actually have the decency to show up, especially since we've shown him quite a lot of courtesy by rearranging our entire parliamentary week to accommodate his schedule, and then he just cancels the night before. It's totally not acceptable. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you, Member Bosman. Member Christians.
Thank you very much, Chair, and good morning to the colleagues. I just also want to, from the ACDP side, register my disappointment. Number one, I want to agree that we do not continue with the meeting. That's number one. Number two, to get a 32-page presentation the evening before to prepare for a meeting. Now, remember, Chair, what we've done. We received the presentation very late last night. We had to work through a 32-page document. And then the morning of the meeting, we are informed that the minister's not here. It's not right. And as the previous speakers has alluded to, that we have been backwards in order to accommodate the minister. I cannot see that we can continue with this meeting, so I will not continue with this meeting because the fact is this is disrespect towards the Western Cape Provincial Parliament. So I just want to register my concern that the minister is not serious when dealing with us, because you get a 32-page presentation that you must work through, you work through it, and then you come to the meeting, and then the meeting is cancelled at the last minute. So, Chair, I also, from the ACDP side, want to say that we are disappointed and that we cannot continue with the meeting. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Member Christians. Member Bartman.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I would like to cite Rule 119, subsection D of the Western Cape Provincial Parliament rules relating to the relevant powers of ad hoc committees, read in line with Rule 91, which it refers to in terms of the general powers of committees to summons any person before it and produce documents, read in line with Section 25 of the Western Cape Provincial Constitution, dealing with evidence or information before Provincial Parliament, which deals with the summoning of any person to appear before to give evidence on oath or affirmation to produce documents, requiring any natural or juristic person or provincial organ of state to report to it, compelling in terms of provincial legislation or the rules and orders of the Provincial Parliament any person and provincial organ of state to comply with a summons or requirement in terms of paragraph A or B and receive petitions, representations, or submissions from any interested person or institution. Chairperson, before today, not only was the Minister requested to attend meetings on numerous occasions, but the first meeting for today was scheduled for this afternoon, and the permanent membership of the Education had to give up the Education Committee slot in this regard. On last minute notice, the Minister then wanted to meet with us in the morning, and the committee accommodated the Minister in this regard, and essentially Community Safety then gave up a committee meeting in this regard. So even the Western Cape Provincial Parliament has lost a full day of committee meetings that could have been scheduled so that we can deal with urgent and important matters before the Provincial Parliament. And thus I would like to support Member Bosman's motion, or moving that we postpone today's meeting, and even to request an urgent meeting or request an urgent slot from Programming Authority in this regard to get the Minister of Electricity back. And in the absence of him being able to do an urgent meeting with us, to follow the route of Section 25 of the Western Cape Constitution in terms of summoning the Minister. Thank you.
Thank you, Member Bartman. Member Marie.
Good morning, Chairperson. I'm so delighted that he proved his incompetence by again not turning up, because I remember we are so forgiving that Member Dugmore this morning reminded me we've forgiven the Minister. We mustn't argue if he can't come. We must again forgive. Speaker, even with the short notice of having received this, I went through it, and there's certain things that the Western Cape must wake up to. The infrastructure of Eskom has been destroyed by incompetent governance. Let's accept that fact. The infrastructure has been destroyed. We're now grabbing at solar energy, panels, inverters, and when the energy is finally restored, what are we going to do with all these added infrastructures? What are we going to do with the panels? What are we going to do with wind energy? Is there a critical path? Can we protect the Western Cape's baseline, our minimum requirement for electricity? Can we protect that? And if we cannot protect the minimum supply required in the Western Cape from surges and from overusage, then we are going to destroy the Western Cape's economic growth. And the minister hasn't got answers to this. That's why every time skip, because he can tell the other 8 provinces any bullshit story. He can't do it here. He will not be able to come here to the Western Cape and put the story here because we have intelligent people on this committee.
Point of order.
We question him.
Point of order,
I
Chairperson.
withdraw the word
Point
that
of
I
order.
said bullshit. I withdraw it. Apologize for saying it. It came out. I withdraw it. But I say, we would have put him under pressure with the quality of our questions. That is why the minister don't pitch up. And it's time we report it to the president. We don't write to the minister. I propose we tell the president he must speak to his minister because he appointed him of the need to, when he's invited, and he confirmed that he pitch up. Thank you.
Thank you, Member Murray. Member Murray and then Member Kasim.
It's not a legacy hand from my side.
Yeah, Member Murray and then Member Kasim.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I would just like to again support the proposals made by my colleagues. We postpone this meeting. Chair, I acknowledge as well the suggestion on summons. What I'd like to contribute to that is to say that we really are here in the spirit of cooperative governance. We need answers because we have constituents that we need to feed back to. This is not a political chess match. This is us ensuring accountability and making sure that we are in a place that we can comfortably reassure our own residents and own constituents of the way forward for South Africa and for their families. So with that, Chair, my suggestion would be for you to possibly put together a timeline of your correspondence with the Minister's office, which I'm sure is ample, and Chair, through you, possibly also to look again to inviting him, but noting that should he not attend in the spirit of cooperative governance and through our own legal competence as a committee, that we may follow this process of summonsing. That would be my suggestion, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Member Murray. Member Kasim.
Thank you, Chairperson. No, Chairperson, I'd also just like to register our disappointment as the EFF on the Minister's continuous failure to show up. The Minister can't be wasting our time like this, and his continuous no-show only proves that he's a useless Minister in this regard. We have questions. We also have questions on the BRICS deal that was done this week, and I don't think it will be answered anytime soon based on his disrespect that he shows towards the Western Cape, his residents, and also the members who took out of their time this morning. So I also suggest that we not continue with this meeting because we are here for the Minister, and the Minister, once again, he's a no-show in this regard.
Thank you. I see Member Christian's hand.
Chair, just to add, I mean, I agree with the previous speakers. Just to, you see, Chair, we will have to go through the summons route because who says we set a date and the Minister will give us a time and then he'll disappoint us again. So I think we'll have to be very firm and take the route as pointed out by Member Bartman to use that route, just to be safe, because like everybody said, I sit on education, we gave up that slot. I sit on community safety, we gave up that slot. A whole day wasted to accommodate the Minister. So I think, Chair, and I think the colleagues has said that we'll have to be firm this time around, and whatever we should do to make sure that the Minister's here, because as people said, we have constituencies out there that's asking questions, and I was very hopeful that we would have got a lot of ammunition to give to our constituencies But unfortunately, we are again, and I must tell the people out there now that we are extremely disappointed and that the national minister did not pitch. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Member Christians. Member Dugmore.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. Greeting to members and officials in the meeting. Chairperson, the first thing I want to say is that the Minister of Electricity has never indicated to the chair of the committee, who has conveyed to us that he is unwilling to attend. In fact, I'm aware of one particular apology where we were informed by the chairperson that the Minister of Electricity had to attend an urgent cabinet meeting. So I would also like the chairperson to provide this committee with copies of correspondence between himself as the chair and the minister's office, because we have certain members here claiming that the minister hasn't come 5 times, etc., etc. So let's just separate fact from fiction. And I also want to put it on record that the minister has never refused. Members would be aware that we never had the mayor of Cape Town when we wanted to ask about why the city of Cape Town insists on imposing a tariff above the NERSA rate. That mayor of Cape Town has never accounted to this committee about why residents of Cape Town are having to pay more, and they are simply refusing to implement the NERSA rate. What I would also like to make a point about is that recently we've had a situation where the premier of this province contacted my office as leader of opposition and indicated that he wouldn't be able to take a question to the premier without notice. And we agreed to that. And, that question was eventually stood over. Thirdly, we have a situation in this legislature where members of the legislature cannot ask questions to the MEC for local government about anything in the city of Cape Town. All of us are aware that this is the only province in South Africa where members of the legislature cannot, through their MEC in their respective legislatures, ask questions about a particular municipality. The city of Cape Town, up to now, refuses to answer any questions that we send to the MEC for local government as members of this legislature. So I think it's important that we bear those points in mind. So I would like to propose that we don't continue with this meeting. Secondly, that the chairperson provides us with all the correspondence that he has sent and the replies received by the minister. I also want to ask the chairperson whether he received notice that the minister couldn't make it last night, and if so, why was this meeting then not postponed? So I'd like to ask the chair specifically, chairperson, when did you receive the notice that the minister could not make it? And finally, I would like to propose that the minister, the chair of our committee requests a date within the next 2 weeks from the Minister of Electricity. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Member Dugmore. Member Bosman.
Chairperson, I think it's very interesting that Member Dugmore is attempting to muddy the water and raise all these outside issues. We've never called or had any meeting discussing the possibility of inviting anybody else from the city of Cape Town. In fact, the mayor of the city of Cape Town is in the National Assembly this morning, accounting to Parliament. So I think we shouldn't confuse things. What we have here very clearly is a minister who I suspect is very busy, but has shown contempt for this Parliament on 4 occasions by rescheduling and cancelling at the last minute. We have a parliamentary structure that requires us to finalise parliamentary committees through the Parliamentary Programming Authority. It has to accommodate all other committees of Parliament, and to date, it has on multiple occasions allowed for this committee to make space for the tardiness of the Minister of Electricity. We have been very, very accommodating, and we have tried on multiple occasions to reschedule other urgent business of Parliament because we want to hear from the Minister. And by the Minister constantly cancelling at the last minute, the Minister shows utter contempt for Parliament and for this committee, and for us towards our responsibility to accounting to our constituents. So I do think that besides just not continuing the meeting, we also need to engage the Office of the Speaker and legal services to look at what the legal routes are available to this committee, to be able to summons the Minister if the Minister is not prepared to come and speak to us willingly. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you, Member Bosman. Member Christians?
Thank you, Chair. Again, I think we're belaboring the point, but I need to just respond on what Member Dugmore has said. Instead of Member Dugmore helping us and assisting us to get the Minister here, he brings up other topics. He deviates from the main topic and bring up other topics. And that is unacceptable. The Minister, by his actions, shows his unwillingness. So when you see a trend, and the trend that the Minister is doing shows us his unwillingness. And I just want to remind the Chair, Member Dugmore is the leader of the official opposition, not of the opposition. So he's not my leader. He doesn't speak on my behalf. So I'm speaking on behalf of the ACDP and saying Member Dugmore must assist us to get the Minister here to help us, because we are accountable to the people that voted us in, not to cover up. And that is what Member Dugmore is doing, is covering up, and is also deviating from the business of the day that we are discussing at the moment. So, Chair, there is many proposals, but the proposals is that we don't continue, that we summons the Minister, that we get the correspondence, and that we have a case. And then go back to our constituents and say that we have tried as a committee to get the Minister here on numerous occasions. By his actions, he's unwilling to appear in front of the committee, and therefore we had to summons the Minister to appear. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Member Christians. What I'm going to do, members, is I'm going to allow Member Dugmore, Marie, and Kondlo and Kassim to speak, and then I will wrap it up after this. But I will say this right now, is that we will supply all the correspondence to the members to demonstrate that we reached out to the Minister, and this is what happened. So I will ask members Dugmore, Marie, and Kondlo and Kassim. Member Dugmore.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. Thanks for also agreeing to provide us with the correspondence. I did also ask a specific question to you as Chair as to when you as Chair were informed that the Minister had apologized. I think it's wrong to say that the Minister cancelled. He has apologized with the intention to postpone and find another date. I also would like to inform Member Christians and requesting to read the rules as well as the provincial constitution, which refers to the leader of the opposition. It's the leader of the opposition, not the official opposition. And the leader of the opposition is the leader of the opposition, the biggest opposition party in the legislature. But I also did indicate on our group chair that as once we finish this item, I would also like to raise with the committee an invitation to a community energy cooperative in the Eastern Cape in Nelson Mandela Bay municipality to share with us their work around setting up alternative energy cooperatives to boost revenue and also supply electricity to the grid. So once we've dealt with this matter, I would request that the committee discusses that request. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Just to answer your question, Member Dugmore, we received notice at 7:01 last night, and I wanted to bring it to the committee's attention in the meeting. Otherwise, as to not to labor the point, but I received it at 7:01 last night. and I decided to have to alert the members of the committee in the meeting. Member Marais.
Chairperson, sorry.
Thank you
I
so
also
much.
no,
My
sorry.
turn now.
Apology, Member Marais. I just wanted to. The question was that when did the chairperson receive the invitation, and then now that he's clarified that he received it at 7, why didn't he just inform us on the group and postpone the meeting?
Because my ruling was that I was gonna put it to the committee members in the meeting. Thank you, Member Marais.
Chair, thank you so much. I want to tell Honourable Member Dugmo that continuous excuses not to accept an invitation can be interpreted as disrespect, because the refusal to attend is a rearrangement of one's own priorities in favor of another priority. So just because I gave an excuse doesn't mean that the person who invited you must accept your excuses. It could be seen as disrespect or your refusal to associate with that person. So now I want to just, I said that we should also inform the president. I now say fine, the suggestion by the DA member about one that we summons, I do believe that is the right way to go. But I wish to ask that we still inform the president out of respect. It's his nominee. He put his full faith and trust in this minister, and the Western Cape economy has suffered enough, long enough, and it's only going to get worse if we don't fix the electricity problem, and if the minister don't consider himself accountable to the committees of this House. We should let the president also know about it, but I agree we should summons. Thank you.
Thank you, Member Nkondlo.
Thank you, Chairperson, and good morning to all members. I think I've got a very short input on the matter. That indeed we do behave as politicians, and unfortunately, you know, we are subjects of a political system, you know, and at a time when we are supposed to rise and behave, you know, in accordance to the interest of the oath we serve, we always choose to be politicians. So I want to say, Chair, that the frustration and the concern of members, which includes myself, to ensure that we finally get the minister here to present to us is, I think, a genuine concern that we need to register. But I think the methods and all the other ego-referenced inputs being made here are really just that. Because if indeed we were to look at consistency, which I think is the context from which Member Dugmo was raising his inputs, not to deviate from what is being discussed, but was trying to make reference so that if we are indeed going to take decisions, we must be able to prove how have we been consistent when this accountability, which is the basis from which we are using to even say we are going to subpoena minister, that we have been consistent in how we run business of this parliament, and will be found wanting when it comes to that. So I think, Chair, I want to say as a member of the committee, I do not agree, I do not support the subpoena. I support that we register our consent because indeed it has been a number of occasions that minister has postponed appearing to share the information that we desire and we need. And I think even the issue of presentation, I remember in the last week when we met with the other municipalities, there was a municipality that only gave us a presentation there in the meeting, but nobody made this hoo-ha that we are making here today. So I'm just saying, Chair, as a member of the committee, I would want to support that we register to the minister the fact that we are not happy with the numerous postponements that he has been making to appear to the committee. we still require the information that we desire so that we are able to come, and we are not going to take any other postponement. So that is my submission as a member to this committee, and I'm not supporting the other majority view of subpoena and all the other dramatic things that the colleagues are suggesting. Thank you.
Thank you, Member Nkondlo. Member Kasim?
Thank you, Chairperson. No, mine was just to agree for us as a committee to focus on prioritizing the minister to present to us. And then also, I'd also like to go back to Member Dugmore. I think he's raising some very important matters there. You know, we've got some unanswered questions from the DA City Mayor as well. So if we can go back to that as well, but let's first prioritize the Minister of Electricity. And then also, like the previous member said, if we can please register the issue of the minister being a no-show. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Member Kasim. And then Member Bartman for as the last hand for now.
Thank you, Chairperson. Chairperson, not all of us are on the respective WhatsApp groups. In the Western Cape, we don't govern and legislate via the WhatsApp groups. So I do appreciate you bringing this matter to the committee so that all of us who serve on this committee as permanent members are able to give input as to how this should go further. Second of all, this particular ad hoc committee was constituted via unanimous resolution of the House due to the urgency of the current impact of load shedding in the province. The resolution was adopted. This committee was constituted in that manner. There are lots of departments, there are lots of private sector institutions, there are lots of persons that this committee has already previously indicated that they wish to serve and to present before this committee. So it's not just the Minister of Electricity that is coming to the committee, it's lots of other persons and stakeholders particularly as well. Further, Chairperson, I take exception in terms of Rule 59 to being alluded to that our views by being angry and frustrated at the minister are not necessarily valid, because I do believe it reflects upon our integrity and dignity as members. In terms of how questions to the Premier is put in the sitting is very different to how you ask a minister to come to a committee meeting. As all members will know, firstly, you have to give permission for a question to stand over. And even those questions are always then answered either in written or orally, depending on the type of question that is posed. Further, I actually remember in the meeting with the municipality that did not send its presentation, where you, Chair, first and foremost said, before any member even raised their hands, that because the municipality did not present their presentation, that they must come back. And then the municipality said, okay, here's the extra information. And then we went forward in terms of making sure that those particular points were then put to the committee again. So I would thus like to propose two matters. Further, in terms of what we need to do, my request, and I move as follows, that this meeting is firstly postponed, that secondly, that as chairperson, you urgently request a new meeting slot from the Programming Authority and request that the Minister of Electricity thus attends such urgent meeting in order for us to be able to complete this agenda. And in the absence of that, as you will already be agreed to give us the respective communication, in that absence, that you request from the Speaker the legal assistance to follow the procedure of a summons. And I believe Member Bosman has already covered the information regarding the Mayor of the City of Cape Town. I so move, Chairperson. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Members, there is a proposal on the floor to postpone the meeting and then to get another date with the programming committee. Maseko?
Thank you very much, Chair. I second the move by Honorable Member Batman.
Thank you. Member Murray?
Chair, I agree that we need to find a new date. But Chair, just I really do want to stress the importance of cooperative governance here. And so when we look at programming, if I can ask that we find a suitable number of days for the minister to respond by. So I would say at least 10 days. that we call the minister from the date of your invitation, so that there's sufficient time for them to focus and rearrange their diary as needed. Chair, I think it's important when you do invite the minister again to register the disappointment that we've heard here today. I also think, Chair, that you should consider also sharing the timeline of communication with the minister. But here's where I'm going to be a little bit controversial. I think that in the spirit of cooperative governance, we extend this invite to him. I don't think we should rush to summons. I think we should indicate in that letter that should he fail to attend this, then we can invoke our right to summon. But I think we must remove the political argument out of this, because again, we are trying to represent the interests of our communities. And there's also, Chair, the importance of balancing what is urgent and what is important. So in writing to him, Chair, I would, in your disappointment, express that, you know, we have these parliamentary committees of our own. We have our own calendars. We have our own legislation. And we've had to move that around several times to be accommodating. And at the same time, in terms of the issue of importance, that we need this clarity in order to fulfill our own legislative mandate. So, Chair, I would agree that this move to programming, but those are my suggestions. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I see Member Brinkhuis, and then I will take the hands of the officials. Member Brinkhuis.
Thank you very much, Chair, and good morning to everybody again. Chair, I'm not going to start another debate now. Chair, just want one clarity. Did we, as the Western Cape, did we give the date of today to the minister to work around, or did we leave it up to the minister to come to us as the Western Cape with a date of today? I just want some clarity on that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I can clear that up for you, Member Brinkhuis. We asked him for the date, Member Brinkhuis, and a time, and then the time was initially 2 o'clock this afternoon, and then he asked for it to be changed to 9 o'clock this morning, and then yesterday he tendered an apology. I am now going to, sorry, thank you, Member Brinkhuis. I hope that answers your question. Mr. Pillay, and the minister gave us 3 dates as well. Sorry to add that. Mr. Pillay, I know I've seen your hand. If you could speak now, sir.
Thank you, Chairperson. My name is Sebastian Pillay, as you've indicated, and I'm the Chief of Staff in the Ministry of Electricity. Chair, I think firstly, maybe just to formally record Minister's apology, and I can tell you that when we decided in the evening last night to weigh one against the other, it was not a decision that Minister had taken lightly for much of the reasons that members have expressed around the need for us to build a social compact that's apolitical in how we're dealing with the energy crisis. So there's absolutely no I don't want to say truth, but there's no effort on the part of the minister to undermine the Western Cape legislature. In fact, we have, I think, on 3 occasions now addressed the Western Cape Exco, and I perfectly understand the difference between the legislature and the executive and your role as a legislature. I'm simply making the point that there's no effort to undermine the Western Cape, as seems to be suggested here. So we've addressed your Exco at least 3 times. We've had engagements with the city of Cape Town at least twice. And in all of his engagements, Minister has been, it is fact, and I'm not going to suggest otherwise, that this meeting has now stretched for well over 2 months in terms of chewing and throwing on the days. 2 dates clashed with cabinet commitments. I think the 3rd day we were not able to honor due to other commitments, and in fact, and indeed, the meeting was rescheduled to this morning, following a letter that we received from the chair. And it is unfortunate that Minister is not able to be with us this morning. It is, however, not true that the ministry is a no-show. there are 4 officials led by the
Mr.
Minister.
Pillay, may I stop you there?
Yes, sir.
We did not invite the ministry. We invited the minister to come, sir.
I accept that fully.
So please, I'm going to ask you again, please. This is not about the ministry. This is about the minister. And we asked the minister to come on more than one occasion, and he did not send the ministry in any. He didn't say that the ministry couldn't make it. He said that he would not be able to make it on previous occasions, and he did not send the ministry officials on those previous occasions. We asked the minister to come, sir. So there is a proposal on the table, and the proposal has been seconded. Are there any counter proposals on this on the matter?
Chair, if I may conclude.
Person, order, a point of order, Chair. Point of
yes,
order.
Member Dagmo.
Chair, I understand you're cutting the Chief of Staff short, but in my understanding, the Chief of Staff had not finished what he wanted to say. And I would really appeal to you to exercise fairness in the way you chair this meeting. I'm interested to hear what the Chief of Staff has to say. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Pillay, please conclude.
Thank you, Chair. Well, I was simply making the point, and I accept fully the invitation was not extended to officials or of the ministry, but in person to the minister. I'm not disputing that, and it's fully accepted. But in light of the situation that we're confronted by, Minister did ask, as I say, a team of 4 officials to present the presentation which he would have ordinarily presented. So I'm just also trying to express the point that there's no effort again to withhold or to not provide the legislature with information, as was requested. Then, to conclude, Chair, I think we're quite happy to work with your secretariat to reschedule, and I think under the circumstances we will make every endeavor to ensure that whether it is in person or online as this platform, that Minister is afforded an opportunity to address the legislature. I can just say that the 9 legislatures, each of them have made requests to the Minister. The 9 executives who have endeavored to address each of those executive committees. The provincial saga in the provinces, including the Western Cape, have all made requests for Minister to address meetings of one form or the other. And I mean, the practicality of the situation is that you have one minister and you have a plethora of requests for attendance, and each day without fail, we have to prioritize one against the other. And for one moment, I'm not suggesting that the legislature is less important than other engagements, particularly in light of the fact that, I mean, as members have said now more than once, this is the 3rd or 4th occasion that we've attempted to put this meeting together. Chair, I'll leave it there with the understanding that we'll work on your ruling. We'll work with your secretariat to follow up this meeting and ensure that Minister is able to attend and address your committee. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Member Bartman.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, firstly, in terms of Section 9 of the Western Cape Constitution, the legislative authority of the Western Cape is vested in the Provincial Parliament. It is not vested in the executive of the Western Cape government. It is not vested in the city of Cape Town or any of our other municipalities. I'm reading directly from Section 9, subsection 1 of the Constitution. The legislative authority of the Western Cape is vested in the Provincial Parliament. And the committee that we are in was established by this Provincial Parliament. Chairperson, I've already put a motion. The motion had 3 parts. The first part was regarding this postponement of today's meeting. The second part was to mandate yourself to request an urgent meeting slot from the Programming Authority so that the Minister of Electricity may reschedule and address us. And the third part was, in the absence of that if that does not continue, that you are then mandated to engage with the Speaker regarding the legal route of summons. That was a 3-part motion. I believe my motion was seconded by Member Maseko, and I thus herewith ask that the question is put and that the committee votes on the motion which I have herewith moved. I thank you.
Thank you. Before I put it to the vote, I'm going to take members Bosman, Marie, and Dugmore in that order. Member Bosman.
Chairperson, I'm very curious. We've not heard what other engagement is taking precedence over the minister engaging with this committee. So maybe if that could also be forthcoming at some point. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Member Bosman. Member Marie.
While I'm inclined to agree with Honourable Member Bartman's proposal, but I don't like her adding that we again invite the minister, How many more times are we going to hear a motion, we must again invite the minister? Let us just leave the next invitation out of the motion and just say we will approach the speaker as to whether the speaker will, whether we can get legal assistance to summon. Because now Mr. Pillay muddled the waters even further by indicating we're not the only province who invite the minister and he's very busy, which means this minister could have attended. I wanted to ask him, which of those other invitations did the minister accept then, and not ours? He just muddled the waters even further now by saying the minister has received invitations from other provinces also. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Member Dugmore.
Chairperson, thanks. Chairperson, there was a proposal which I understood had support as well, which was that you provide us with the timeline and with the copies of invitations sent to the minister. So if we could have that, then I have also proposed that because there appears to be some confusion amongst members about the need to have the Mayor of Cape Town here, that we formally, that this committee resolves that we formally invite the Mayor to explain the defiance of the NERSA tariff by the City of Cape Town and the resultant imposition of extra electricity tariffs on the citizens of Cape Town, and that the Mayor also explains the punitive practice of deducting amounts when citizens buy prepaid electricity when they are in arrears on another account. And that is being accountable. We as an ad hoc committee have that. So those are additional proposals that I would like to make, and I've also made a proposal because we're sitting in a committee now that we invite the Nelson Mandela Bay Energy Cooperative.
There's a point of order, Member Maseko.
Chair, I think procedurally there's been a proposal in hand. We have to finish that and say what decision do we take in the committee. Any other thing under general isn't that you can allow any other conversations or submissions to you or proposals for the agenda points for the future. But for now, we need to finish about this agenda and say what is our position and the way forward. With due respect. Thank you very much.
Okay.
I also got a point of order, Chair.
No, Chair, I'm next because I want to speak on that point as well.
My hand was up.
My hand is up
Member
first.
Christian's hand was up first. Member Christian.
Thank you, Chair. No, I just wanted to agree with Member Bartman first that we deal with those proposals first, because that is why we have this meeting, the way forward. And the other stuff is not. Member Dugmore is deliberately taking us somewhere else. I want to ask Member Dugmore, please stick to the point, because the point is there's a proposal by Member Bartman, and then we can vote on that matter and get it over and done with. If there's any other business, if we must invite other people, don't now come with other proposals. There's a proposal on the table, three proposals, the 3-point proposal by Member Bartman, and I want us to vote or agree on that, and then we can move to other stuff. But Member Dugmore is deliberately taking us to other areas, and that is not the purpose of the meeting. The purpose of the meeting, how are we moving forward with this particular meeting? And that is what I want to say, Chairperson. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Member Christians. Like members, there was the proposal on the floor, and the proposal has been seconded. I will now put the vote, the proposal as proposed by Member Bartman and seconded to
Are you not
Chairperson,
respecting
Chairperson, could I propose-
my point of order, Chairperson? Are you ignoring it?
Oh, sorry, Member Maria, go ahead. But after Member Maria, I will put the vote to the floor.
Thank you. I think Member Dagmo is trying to put issues on the agenda, which is not on the agenda. We're not discussing the mayor here. We are discussing electricity crisis. And I bring in increase in tariffs. That's not even on the agenda. I think it is absolutely unheard of. I object to be even talking about it.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Member Maria. Members, there's a proposal, and the proposal was seconded, and we'll now put the proposal to the floor, to the vote. Are there
Chairperson,
members that are
point of-
voting in favor of it?
Yes, I'm in favor,
Chairperson, point
Chair.
of order, I would like to move an amendment to the motion and try and seek consensus.
Chairperson,
Yes, Member Bosman?
you did ask earlier if there was alternate proposals. Member Dagmo did not propose that. He was still
Correct.
on his earlier defense
No,
of trying to defend the
that's not
minister.
true, Chair.
So I
Chair,
don't
I'm
think we
trying
should
to-
entertain the motion. And Member Dagmo, I'm still on the floor. Chair, the rules of order also indicate that we need to vote on the motion before any debate can continue. And we've not done that. So I please ask that we stick to the rules and that we continue with the vote. Thank you, Chair.
I agree. We will now vote on the motion as proposed. Are the members are voting in favor of the motion?
Yes,
Point of
I'm in
clarity.
favor.
Yes.
Point of clarity. Chairperson, point of clarity.
Yes, Member Botman?
Chairperson, because we're on the hybrid system, and my concern is we're going to be speaking over one another in terms of the particular vote. My request is that yourself, with the support of the procedural officer, reads out the permanent members who are online in the meeting today and request them to put their vote accordingly so that we can have an accurate reflection as to what the vote is. Thank you.
Okay, that's fine. Can I ask the procedural officer, let me just check with her quickly. Ms. Kluti?
Good morning, Chairperson. Good morning, members. Yes, I have the list of the permanent members.
Okay. So would we can we then ask for a show of hands in teams to see who would vote in favor of the motion, and then Ms. Kluti will just clarify that the show of hands are people are permanent members of the committee. Is that okay?
Yes, Chairperson, you can put the motion and then we can do by show of hands who's in support of it.
Why don't you read out the names rather?
Yeah, call out names.
Yeah, I
Okay,
suggest
Shall we
that
do so as well?
we
Shall we
call
call
out
out the
no.
names then?
Okay, great. You put the motion, I'm sure. So you, Member Murray, in support or not support? Member Fry?
A support.
Member America?
Support.
Member Seleko?
Biakasa.
Member van der Westhuizen?
Support.
Member Bartman?
I support.
Member Maseko?
I support.
Member Pretorius?
Support.
Member Nkondlo? Member Nkondlo?
Absent.
Member Nkondlo, I see you in the meeting. Support or not support? I think we might have lost Member Nkondlo.
Chair,
Member Dagmo?
Chair, just as
Thank
a
you,
point of
Chairperson.
order.
I support the first 2 points of the motion, not the third, and would like to amend the second point by saying that that meeting should happen in 3 weeks.
Is that allowable?
Chair, just a point of order.
Yes.
Yes.
Point of order.
Miss
Member
Member Murray?
Dagmo, You can't support an amendment right now. You're going to have to either support the proposal or not support the proposal, sir.
Okay, may I make my point of order?
Let me just give Member Dugmore the chance to speak.
Could we please, before we conclude this matter, can we just have the motion written? Because all that has happened is the motion has been read out, and I want to actually see the wording of the motion. Can we please have the wording of the motion?
Okay. Member Nkunlu, before we go any further, your hand was up? Because we can't.
Can member Bartman?
I'm sorry, Chair. We'll wait for the motion to be read.
Okay.
I'm requesting the motion to be put on in the chat box by Honourable Bartman.
Chairperson, on a point of order.
Yes, Member Bartman.
Chair, sorry, I'm still waiting on my point of order.
Okay, I'll take you now, Member Murray.
Chair, may I continue?
Yeah.
Chair, I've already put my motion twice. The motion was supported. There's no rule that says I must put my motion in the chat box. Similarly, I don't sit on specific WhatsApp groups because I believe that we can follow the rules of Parliament quite sufficiently with the hybrid rules of Parliament as is. Secondly, once a motion has been put and the decision has been put, it must be voted on. An amendment cannot be brought once a decision has been put to the vote. You've already started taking the support and the non-support of the respective members, and an amendment at this stage cannot be put because in terms of the Western Cape Provincial Parliament rules, if there is an amendment to a motion, an amendment must first be voted on before one can get to the actual motion. Because if the amendment is approved, then the possibility of the motion being amended might change. Because then we are voting then on a different motion originally. There were 3 parts to my motion, so I'm just going to clarify again the 3 parts to my motion. The first part of the motion, which I'm now repeating, is the postponement of today's meeting. The second part of the motion was mandating you to get an urgent meeting slot from the programming authority so that we can have this meeting with the electricity minister. The third part of the motion, that in the absence of him attending that you then are mandated to engage with the speaker on the legal process regarding a summons in line with Rule 119 of the Western Cape Provincial Parliament rules, which is read in line with Rule 91 of the Provincial Parliament rules, which is read in line with Section 25 of the Western Cape Constitution. I've now read, not even read, I've said this out loud now 3 times. The motion has been put to a vote, and I ask that the vote be concluded. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Member Murray, your point of order?
Point of order.
No, Member Murray?
Thank you, Chair. Chair, just as a point of order, and perhaps if you could also give clarity on this, if a person is called on to vote and they do not respond, given that we are all supposed to be available online, is that vote then treated as absentia, as in the person is refusing to vote, which they may also do? Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much. Member Dugmore, you had a point of order?
Thank you, Chair. Chair, my point of order, and I want to place it on record, I attempted to move an alternative motion, or you can describe it as an amendment. You did not allow me, never asked whether there was support for my motion. So if you want to proceed, you can proceed, but I want to minute in this meeting that I'm of the view that my attempt to propose an alternative motion was not allowed by the chair. That's fine. If you want to proceed, proceed. But please note that I tried to move an amendment or an alternative, and it was not allowed. Thank you.
On a point of order, Chair,
Yes, Member
thank you, Chair. Chair, on a point of order to Member Mari, about me when I was called. I'm not sure if we are in a preschool here. I had to go to the bathroom and I could not hear when my name was being called. So I came back at a time, member Dagmo was asking for the motion to be read because I was ready to actually indicate my vote. We are not in a preschool here, and we must not be treated as kids. So I think Member Mari must understand, and also you must just tell your members, they mustn't want to chair this meeting for you. If you are unable to chair, they must then, in your DA, please ensure that they get the person that needs to chair. This thing of being in a committee and people want to teach you how to chair the meeting is actually out of order and such condescending. Can I be allowed to move my vote?
You can move your vote, ma'am.
I do not support the motion.
Thank you very much, Ms.
Thank you,
Kuti.
Member Nkondlo. May I continue?
Yes, you can.
Member Kasim? Member Kasim? Good day, Member Kasim.
Sorry, I've got some issues with my internet, but I'm okay. I just want to register as well that Member Dagmo did try to give input by amending on that motion before we got to this point where we are now agreeing and not agreeing on the motion. Thank you.
Member De Villiers, support or not support?
Yeah, I'm support the motion.
Thank you. Member Christians?
I support the motion.
Member Mare?
I support the motion wholeheartedly.
Member Brankas?
Thank you, Chair. I do not support this motion, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you. Then for the record, I'll just tally the votes, Chairperson.
Yes, please.
Member Kasim, just for clarity, you said you support or not support? Member Kasim? Member Kasim?
I said I support based on the fact that
Okay.
we need to prioritize the minister to be in the next meeting. Thank you.
Thank you. Then in that regard, Chairperson, in
Yes.
support of the motion by Member Bartman, we have 13 in favor and 2 members not supporting the motion of Member Bartman.
Thank you very much, members. That means that the motion is carried.
Chairperson, can I get clarity? Can I get clarity, Chair? Sorry to interrupt. I'm having a problem with my hand. When the committee coordinator said 2 members against it, my understanding was that Member Nkondlo, Member Brinkhuis, and myself, I said that I don't support. I support the 2 points, but not the third. So that's, I'm sure, regarded as a vote against. So in my counting, that is 3.
Yes, Ms. Kluti, can you just confirm that it's members Brinkhuis, members Nkondlo, and member Dagmo that does not support?
Okay, Member Brankas, I've got it noted here that you support.
No, he said he didn't support.
Member Brankas?
No. Chair, the Al Jamaa does not support
Okay,
Member
so
Branches.
it's
I
3,
do not
sorry.
support this motion. I don't support it.
Okay, so
Thank you.
it's 3, yeah, 3. Then Member Nkondlo not support, Member Brinkhuis not support, and Member Dagmo propose an amendment. I'll just advise the chairperson accordingly on the proposal for the amendment. But then the tally would then be 12 in support or 13 in support, and then Member Dagmo will have to submit a counter proposal, counter motion. We cannot amend the motion of Member Bartman.
Thank you very much. Seeing as how the motion noted that this meeting be concluded.
No, Chair, can I propose I want to propose another motion.
I asked for a counter proposal before.
No,
Member
and then
Dagmo.
you didn't allow me. You didn't allow me. My this motion has been passed, right? The one that
Yes.
Member Bartman, but I'm proposing another motion now.
Okay, then if you want to propose another motion.
Motion firstly that this meeting does not proceed, Secondly, that the committee chair makes contact with the Minister of Electricity and requests a date for a meeting within 3 weeks. That is my motion. I so move.
Thank you, Member Dagmo. Is there a second for this motion? Member Bosman?
I second, Chair. Member Brankes, I
Chairperson?
second that motion of Member Dagmo. Second.
Okay. Member Bosman?
I'm just a little bit confused. In the earlier motion moved by Member Bartman, there was also a proposal that you write to the minister. So I'm not sure whether Member Dagmo just wants you to write to the minister in 3 weeks' time, or whether he doesn't want you to write to the minister on Member Bartman's motion, but on his motion. I'm very confused.
Chair, can I clarify?
Yes, Member Dagmo.
The first part of the motion is exactly the same as Member Bartman, that this meeting is postponed. The second part is that the chairperson writes to the Minister of Electricity and requests a date for the meeting to take place within 3 weeks.
Thank you, Member Bartman.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I'm rising in terms of Rule 149, dealing with same question rules applying to motions. My understanding of motions is that no draft resolution may be moved that is in the same in substance as something that has been moved, that has been approved or rejected during the previous 6 months. I don't see a difference between asking programming authority for an urgent date and it possibly happening within 3 weeks. It is very likely that an urgent date could be within 3 weeks, which was in terms of the second part of the motion, and the first part of the motion is exactly the same in terms of postponement. So unless a new motion on new matters are brought, I do not believe that we can redo this motion. Thank you.
Thank you, Member Bartman. Member Nkondlo?
Brilliant.
No, thank you, Chair. Chair, I would like to advise to members of this committee and to yourself that whilst we are sitting in this committee, this is not the first time we sit in committees to deal with matters like this one and any other. And when discussions have taken place and we need to resolve, members are allowed to provide proposals on things that must be resolved by the committee, which is what I understand we are doing on the basis of the situation we are finding ourselves in, on what is the proposed path that we need to take. And indeed, there is a proposal by Member Bartman that was put up and it found support. There is a proposal that is being put up by Member Dagmo. And actually, outside of Member Dagmo, Member Mari did make a proposal. I also had made a proposal when I said I do not support this particular proposal that has came back now for vote. So I'm failing to understand, why do we feel we need to suppress Member Dagmo's proposal to a committee so that if needs be, we do exactly, we provide the privilege that was given to the initial motion or proposal of Member Bartman, where it was put to a vote if needs be. So I'm not understanding what is this a big issue that we are dealing with now, because if there is a proposal from Member Dagmo, which is different, because when he wanted to amend the initial motion, he was refused. So now he's making his motion, which is different, but has got aspects, as he indicated, that the first part of what he's proposing is similar to what has been voted for already. So I suggest, Chair, we allow the proposal of Member Dagmo and actually get people who are supporting. If others are not supporting, let them exercise their right not to support, instead of being a pains trying to suppress Member Dagmo's alternative or a different proposal to the matter. Thank you.
Thank you, Member Nkondlo. Member Christians?
Chair, just for moving forward, look, the nature of Member Dagmo's proposal is the same. The only thing that might be different is the 3 weeks. So unless he removes one, because one is exactly the same as one of Member Bartman, and then he wants to make a proposal that we get the minister in 3 weeks, that but it's not a counter proposal to the other one. The other one's already gone, it's done. So we're working on a new, so if member Dagmo want to add one, and that is to meet the minister in 3 weeks, maybe we can work on that. But there's already a decision that the meeting must be postponed. And I'm just trying to move us forward, Chairperson, just to say that maybe we can look at the 3 weeks and leave the other part, because the first proposal's already passed, it's done, it's been voted on, so we can't vote again. Otherwise, it's the same proposal as Member Bartman if you keep one in. So I don't know if we can look at maybe point number 2 and say that, the minister responds in 3 weeks, and that is then a proposal on its own, but it's not a counter proposal to the first one, because the first one is done. And if Member Dagmo stick to the same proposal 1 and 2, then in nature it's the same as the previous proposal, and that is not then allowed. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, Member Bartman.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, in order to move forward, let us put Member Dagmo's proposal to the vote. He can reiterate it. If there is someone who wishes to support his motion, the support can be indicated and the vote can be put. Personally, I don't agree with the 3 weeks, because urgent could mean tomorrow, and 3 weeks in my books is not urgent. But I am happy with putting the vote and to indicate my right on the particular vote accordingly when my name is called. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Members, in order to move forward, the Member Dagmo's scrutiny, let me just make sure with you, the members, Member Dagmo's proposal was seconded by Member Brinkhuis. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes, that's correct.
That is
Member
correct.
Branca
That is good.
seconded.
That's good. Yes.
All right.
Yes. Thank you, Chair.
So we're voting on primarily the first part of Member Dagmo's motion is the same as the first part of Member Bartman's motion. So we're just going to vote on primarily on the second part, which means that within 3 weeks. Is that correct, Member Dagmo? That's what you said.
Chair, yes, I've written it again in the chat box there.
Okay.
That one, yeah.
Okay.
Chairperson, may I continue? Okay,
Yes, you
Member
may.
Nkondlo has a question. Member Nkondlo has a question.
Member Nkondlo?
No, sorry, Chair. You can proceed.
Okay. So now we will take a vote
Proceed.
on Member Dagmo's proposal. Ms. Kluti, can you read out the name so we can vote accordingly?
Member Murray, do you support or not support?
Sorry, Chair, that was not a hand to support. It was just to indicate that I'm here. Chair, I would not support this. Having worked in senior political offices myself, 3 weeks is extensive. I would say 10 days would be sufficient, so no.
Member Fry,
I do not support.
Member America,
Do not support.
Member America,
I do not support. Can you hear me?
Member, yes, I can hear you. Thank you, member. It's noted. Member Saleko,
I do not support.
thank you, Member Saleko. Member van der Westhuizen,
No support. Against.
Member Bartman,
3 weeks is not considered urgent by myself, and therefore I do not support.
Member Maseko,
I do not support.
Member Pretorius,
The motion is not supported.
Member Nkondlo,
I support.
Member Nkondlo,
I support.
support. Thank you, member. Member Dagmo.
I support.
Oh yeah, thank you, Member Dagmo. Member Kasim.
Support.
Member Kasim.
Thank you. We've been waiting for a few months now. I think another 3 weeks is going to delay the process, so I cannot support in this regard. Thank you.
Thank you, Member Kasim. Member De Villiers.
Yeah, I've supported. I don't care when we meet him, as long as we meet him.
So you're supporting Member De Villiers?
Support, yeah.
Okay, Member Christians.
I do not support the motion. I do not support.
Member Mare,
I do not support.
Member Brankus, you seconded, so Member Brankus?
Yes, I support fully.
Okay, so 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12. So members, we have 12 votes not supporting the motion of or the proposal of Member Dugmore, and we have 3 votes supporting the proposal by Member Dugmore.
Thank you very
Yeah,
much. Therefore,
so-
the motion is not carried.
Chairperson, point of order. I counted 4 votes in support of the motion. My own vote, Member Nkondlo's vote, Member de Villiers' vote, and Member Brinkhuis's vote. That's 4.
I counted 4 as well. Just to make sure, Ms. Kluti?
Member de Villiers, support?
Yes.
Okay,
it's 4.
Member de Villiers, you supported?
Yes, he did.
Okay, so it's 4.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, then thank you. So it's 11 in support and 4 not supporting.
No,
Thank you.
No. 4, no. It's 4 in support of the motion and 11 against.
Okay, sorry, members, can I just, okay, just to conclude, we have 4 members in support of the proposal of Member Dugmore, and we have 11 members not supporting the proposal of Member Dugmore.
Yes. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Therefore, as per Member Bartman's supported motion, this meeting will now conclude, and we will revert to the committee as to when, with the full timeline and documents that was sent to the minister, and we will do that and we will disseminate that to the committee. Thank you very much, everybody.
Chairperson, sorry, my hand was up on a point of order. Could I just ask for your guidance? It's true that this meeting was specifically to hear the presentation and engage with the Minister of Electricity, but in the course of the meeting, I had raised issues of summonsing or inviting the mayor and also the community cooperative from Nelson Mandela Bay. So could I just ask you, can those requests be discussed at our next meeting of the ad hoc committee? Because it's clear that it appears that you don't want to entertain those matters today. But for me, it's part of the ordinary work of this committee. We're busy with local governments at the moment. And, so I just want guidance. Can I formally raise those proposals at the next meeting if they're not going to be entertained today?
You can formally raise those at the next meeting, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
This meeting is adjourned.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Chairperson.
Chairperson.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Chair.
Workshop.
Thank you, Chair.
Workshop.